If you have a tight spot right here, you already know exactly what I'm pointing at. Reach across and put one hand on top of your shoulder. This is one of the most common things people bring up when they come into our office. They say something like, it feels like there's a knife in there and it just never fully goes away. I want to talk about why that spot keeps coming back because the answer is different from what most people assume, and it explains why nothing you have tried has held. Let me describe it first, and you can tell me if this is you. There is a deep ache. Sometimes it burns and it's never sharp, but you feel it more when you turn your head and you notice it when you're driving, and it's there the first thing when you wake up in the morning. And if you've been working on it, you've asked your partner to press on it while you're sitting on the couch, and that feels amazing for about a minute. Massages feel incredible, but then it comes back the next day or two. There's a roller somewhere in your house. Maybe you stretch, though not consistently because it doesn't seem to be doing much. Medication doesn't touch it. None of that was really the wrong instinct, but I want to be clear about that because I hear a lot of people apologizing for what they've tried, like they should have known better. You weren't doing unreasonable things. They just were missing part of the picture. In our office, here's the first thing that I would want to check. Reach across and find it on your left side, then do it on your right side. Give it one press. Is it more tight than one side on the other? For most people, the answer is yes, and we often find it tighter on the right side. Sit with that for a second because it matters. Most people who come in tell me it's from sitting at their desk all day, but a desk doesn't have a side. If sitting at the computer were the whole story, this would be right in the middle of your back or even on both sides. What does have a side is everything else you do, from the bag that lives on the same shoulder every day to lifting and reaching with the same arm without ever deciding to. That's the part nobody accounts for, and it adds up quietly over the years. So if it's not really about the desk, why does it keep coming back? Because that spot isn't where the problem is. It's one spot holding on for the whole chain, running above it and below it. Some people notice that when they press on it, they feel it travel up towards their neck into the back of their head or temple. If that's you, mention it to us. It's also part of why this is hard to get to on your own. But the clearest sign is what happens after you work on it. It lets go. It really does let go under a thumb or somebody's elbow at a massage, and then it comes right back. That's the piece I want to explain because it's the whole thing. The joints that the muscles are attached to are stuck. So when you release the muscle, it has nowhere new to go, and it goes right back to holding on. That isn't a failure of the massage. Massage did its job, just one job. I say this to patients all the time. Muscle moves joints and joints move muscles. It works in the other direction too. If you only get adjusted and you never do the muscle work and the joints move better for a while, and then that wound tight muscle pulls everything right back to where it was, I see that version so much. So it takes both, and it takes them in an order that makes sense for your body. That's why nothing is held. Not because you're doing it wrong, but because you are doing a one piece of a two-piece problem. There's a second layer, and it shows up whenever your plate fills back up. When you're carrying a lot, your shoulders come up and they stay up. You stop taking full deep breaths in and out, and your air starts moving high in your chest instead of low and full through your ribs and diaphragm. Your head drifts forward towards the screen, and you don't even noticing it happening. That one spot ends up being the anchor that's holding it all together. And then the part that really does it, the busier you get, the more you push through. So you don't even have time to deal with it, and it just starts stacking. So here's what we actually do about it. We start with your posture pictures because I don't want to guess. I want to see exactly where this is coming from. Then we look at how your ribs and your hips sit relative to one another because those two have more to do with each other than people realize. We look at what your breathing is actually doing. We look at where your head sits. We watch how your shoulder blade glides when you lift your arm up. And then we keep looking down at the chain to see how the shoulder and elbow and even the wrists move along with it. Everything in your body is truly all connected. So we want to read the whole chain instead of just one spot that is talking the loudest. And when we do both halves, work on your joints and your muscles together in whatever order your body needs, that is when we see the real change. One more thing, and then I'll let you go. The pattern that the knot is there is the same pattern that shapes how your upper back carries itself over time. So working on it now isn't only about getting through an afternoon without reaching back to dig at your shoulder. but it's about how you sit and stand and move 10 years from now with the right muscles doing the right work that they were built to do. That feels worth doing something about while there's still just an annoying spot. If you've had this for years and you've quietly decided it's now your time, come see us. That's what a first visit is for. We will find out what exactly is causing that spot to be there. We're in Bridge Park in Dublin, and I'll put the link to book below.